Hello and welcome to this transmission from the High Councils of Light. My name is Bree of Soul Healing with Bree, and I am going to be our conduit today, our channel today. And what I mean by that, for those of you that are new to channeling or bringing through messages from beings that occupy higher dimensional states, it's a lower density state, a higher dimensional experience within Source. What I am doing in this is just allowing my personality, my mind, my ego structure to settle. Sometimes I feel this floating to the back, and then I allow the high councils of light to transmit through. And so that means that I want you to be aware before consuming this message that this may shift your vibrational state. This may lift you. It may ground you. It will balance your energetic field. And for those of you that may have had a little bit of an unbalance, it may feel new or different, or a certain type of way that is difficult for you to describe or put into words. So if you're open to that, if you're ready to really feel your soul landed more so in your body in this life, then stick around. And I would not recommend you be driving or operating machinery whenever taking in meditation, a channeling, energy healing, etc. So if you have about 15 or 20 minutes, I'm not exactly sure how long this will go, but if you have a small chunk of time to really deepen into yourself, then find your seat or your laying position. I am feeling into this as that keeping your eyes closed for this may be more beneficial. I'm also being told by the high councils of light that you can take this in two ways. So you can take this in as an observer and just listen, have an open mind, open heart, or you can say yes, or I affirm, or I am open to receive the healing light codes, remembrance codes, awakening codes while you receive the message. So have a moment, decide if you want to be an observer or to receive the healing, and settle in. I will just be going quiet, taking a few breaths, and then I will allow the high councils of light that are streaming from Source, God, Creator, for our highest good, the highest good of all. We are the high council of light that oversees all living beings within Source, the one Source that is all that is. In scanning all of you that did agree to receive the light codes in this transmission, we're sensing all of you at a very pivotal place, a pivotal time stamp within your journey. And we sense many of you contemplating whether to continue evolving and embodying this higher vibrational frequency, or if it is possibly, we're flagging easier for many of you as the word, to go back to a state of being that was more contracted or fearful. And for many of you, simply certain or known, predictable. And it is a very good thing that Bree decided to bring through this message today for all of you. Because going back to sleep, which is what you may label it as, has the potential to keep you in the old earth. There's nothing to be afraid of in the old earth. For as the old earth ascends, every soul will ascend eventually. Bree is questioning why we're bringing this through, so we will share. Those of you that are awakened to this reality, that the earth as it stood up until this point was being controlled and led by those who wish to have you in fear. Once you discovered this, you did compound that fear that you could be controlled or manipulated or overpowered. And we would like to neutralize this fear for you, with you, from you. Because yes, as the systems that were embedded here fall apart, you will see some that lose their way, that stray, that are falling. But it is not up to you to save them. It is not up to you to save any one individual. You are here to be. You are here to live, you see, in a physical form. You chose this. All of you. And those of you that are clinging most to the fear, you are the ones that wanted to come the most. because physical incarnation is something that is changing. It is being redesigned, we will call it. And Earth is a big part of this because humans have astonished us here in the higher planes. We did not expect humans to rise to the occasion that you all are now. We in the higher planes watch the humans that are holding their communities together, their families together, their self together, despite so much adversity and so much messaging that seems to be agreed upon. And it is you that will make this shift. As you make this shift, every single soul, being, energy that you've had any entanglement with shifts too. You're not leaving anyone behind. Many of you want to run back and save them, help them. This is how you do it. You embody love. You embody your soul, your authenticity, your creativity, your passion, your joy. The peace you are seeking, it is not outside of you, and it is not an impossibility. It is natural to the soul and to source. And what is changing as your planet evolves and shifts, along with all of you, is that many of the dichotomies, the paradoxes, the miseries, the suffering, it is moving too. It is shifting too. Many of you have built this belief pattern that Bree has, to put everyone ahead of you, that it is not noble or honorable to put yourself first. And what we would like you to know of this is that when you nurture yourself, and you're true to yourself, when you embody what feels like love to you, you're serving everyone throughout all of the cosmos. This is how it is done. So if you abandon yourself, if you deny yourself, you don't serve anyone. This is a message Bree needed to hear again. And all of you needed to hear it as well. Many of you are judged and ridiculed, and yet you prevail. Many of you have been shut out by family and those close to you. Many of you have been labeled and put down and denied. And yet you prevail. This is alchemy in its strongest form, having the ability to have a deep knowing that may contrast with the popular knowing. We are commending all of you now. And we ask you to open to receive this. We ask you to open to receive the gratitude, to be you. For those of you that agreed to receive the light codes, we're simply smoothing the fields. Many of you have had a mental shift. Your mental body now has upgraded to join the rest of your layering bodies. Some of you have upgraded your emotional body, which you had perceived as being something to deny, which is not true. When the fear does arise, the anger arises. Allow it through you healthily. Breath work, sound, movement. Release it from you. Allow it to release from you. Allow yourself to love this self of you that created it. Once you realize everything is truly one, it becomes easier for you to see the resistance and the so-called struggle as simply a door, a gateway to alchemize more of you back into you. Bree is signaling that this is getting very high frequency, so we will bring this to a close, but first we are stabilizing and balancing all of your chakras. We would also like to give you some notes on your chakras for those of you that are willing to receive some guidance from the spiritual guides that you chose to have with you in this life. We're indicating 3 main trends within the chakra systems here in this transmission. The first being a closed crown chakra. This will resonate for you if you have been feeling hopeless. It is time to tap on the top of your head for those of you that resonate with this. The second group is a very small root sizing. And you will know this is the case if you have been feeling in alignment with a small hair in the way of you in your full embodiment. For those of you that resonate with this, we ask that you have a focus on your root chakra each day. Some of you will want to play with your hands to do this so you connect with the root and you feel the root in your hands, and you will expand it into a point that feels comfortable for you. And this third group it is your solar plexus that has become the we're going to bring Bree back in to close this. Coming back. So for this third group with the solar plexus, they showed me a visual that I'll explain. So I was seeing many cords extending back from your solar plexus, which is in your center, below your rib cage, at your center, along your spine. They were showing me many cords, and this doesn't apply to me, so I'm just going to explain it to you. But many cords just being held back, and it was this sort of inversion shape where your I'm just going to describe it. Your root and your crown were sort of getting pulled along with the new earth frequency. And then there's just like a small cord that was like holding those of you that resonate with this back in the old world. So, and then they were showing me scissors. So for those of you that resonate with that category, it's time to cut some cords. And it doesn't mean cord cutting. And before I go on, I just want to say thank you to the High Councils of Light and to all of you for participating in this. This was a very strong channeling. It was very healing. I felt the archangels moving through all of the etheric threads that consist of all of us here in the human. Yeah, I was mostly focused on the human, not other incarnated beings. For those of you that remember or sense that, I won't go further there. But with the cord cutting, what I would recommend is just that you call your energy back into your own field when you're feeling any kind of pull from the back. So I wouldn't identify a person in your life, or you don't need to worry about going into fear or worrying about changing anything structurally in your life. I would just go into calling yourself back home to center and getting into alignment. And for all of you here, when it comes to the chakra system, I would love it if moving forward, if you hit something in your life that feels like a block or feels like a struggle or feels like negativity or just something that you're not desiring to experience, I encourage you to, once you flag that, to call yourself into your center so you can identify what chakra is involved. What this will really help you with, and this links in with the channeling that just came through, is many of you just have one chakra that's just not getting the love it needs. And I'll just share vulnerably, the one that I resonated with was the root. So I identified early on, this was about, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know, when I first started to tap into my chakras, consciously anyway, my root was the problem, because my root was very much entangled with the old world, I want to say. I was still very much believing that I needed to be in my corporate job, that I believed I needed to be in that my whole life, and I was suffering pretty badly. I was very disconnected. I was not creating anything anymore, just for me. I was all day serving my team, my client, whatever you want to call what I was doing for the companies I was working for. But I lost myself in that in many ways. And so getting to know what my chakras were communicating to and with me really helped me. It helped me to see within my root that belief that I needed to suffer my whole life just to be fed and have a roof over my head, that wasn't true. And I'm still working on that today. And those of you that resonate with my content, I encourage you to do a one-on-one with me, to join one of my communities, the Quantas Activation Portal or Starseed Activations, or I also have Master Your Energy, which is a 6-week, if you really want to just shift your life in 6 weeks. That shifted my life, just the creation of Master Your Energy. Still watch some of the videos because they were channeled. They were me just tapping into my higher self-consciousness. I don't remember specifically everything that's in that program, but it was many ascended masters and angels that were reminding me, and they were reintegrating me back into me, as weird as that sounds, but I was remembering the eternal nature of the soul while creating that. So while I continue on this soul healing with Bree path of awakening, ascending, anchoring light codes, I am still moving up to reach that financial level that I was at when I was suffering. So if you do love my content, I just encourage you to begin that energetic exchange with me in some way that feels comfortable to you, or maybe slightly uncomfortable, but also exciting, because I'm here for a reason, and so are you. And money, currency, it's all shifting so quickly that all of us are really rediscovering how abundance, how finances, how the structural aspects of being a human are blending with our fully soul embodied self. I also accept donations. And I love all of you so greatly and deeply. You're all me. Strange as that may sound to some of you, not all of you, I'm sure, but we really are all one, and we're all going to ascend. So I'm just here to make it enjoyable as best I can. I love you all. Thank you for being here, spending this time and your energy in this space with me. Namaste.